Welcome, seekers of history and legend. Before we descend into the shadows, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more journeys into the past's most enigmatic figures. When you hear the name Dracula, what comes to mind? A creature of the night with a thirst for blood? For centuries, this name has been synonymous with the vampire. But the legend you know is only half the story. Behind the myth stands a man, Vlad III, Prince of Wallachia, a crusader and a national hero to his people. He was a ruler forged in a time of brutal conflict, defending his homeland with unmatched ferocity. But his methods were terrifying, birthing a monster that would never die. So, who was the real man behind the fangs? A patriot or a monster? Join us as we impale the myth and uncover the real, terrifying history of Vlad the Impaler. When people hear the name Dracula, they usually think of vampires, dark castles, and supernatural horror. But long before Dracula became a fictional monster, there was a real historical ruler, a man feared by his enemies, respected by some of his people, and remembered by history as one of the most controversial figures of medieval Europe. His real name was Vlad III, ruler of Wallachia in the 5th-10th century. To his supporters, he was a strict but effective leader who defended his land against powerful empires. To his enemies, he was a symbol of terror. So who was Vlad Dracula really? And how did a medieval prince become the inspiration for one of the most famous characters in world literature? To understand Vlad Dracula, we first need to understand where he ruled. Wallachia was a small principality located in what is now southern Romania. In the 1400s, it sat between two major powers, the Ottoman Empire to the south and the Kingdom of Hungary to the north. Wallachia was constantly under pressure. Its rulers were expected to pay tribute to the Ottomans while also maintaining alliances with Christian Europe. This made leadership unstable. Rulers were frequently overthrown, assassinated, or replaced. It was in this dangerous political environment that Vlad was born. Vlad III was born in 1431, most likely in the city of Siasoara. His father, Vlad II Dracula, was a member of the Order of the Dragon, a Christian military order dedicated to resisting Ottoman expansion. The name Dracula originally meant dragon, but over time it also came to be associated with the devil. Vlad III later became known as Dracula, meaning son of Dracula. As a child, Vlad and his younger brother were sent to the Ottoman court as political hostages. This was common practice and was meant to ensure his father's loyalty. During these years, Vlad was exposed to Ottoman politics, military discipline, and court life. Many historians believe this period deeply shaped his worldview, especially his belief that power must be enforced without hesitation. Vlad first became ruler of Wallachia in 1448, but his early reign was short-lived. Over the next several years, he lost and regained the throne multiple times, a reflection of how unstable Wallachian politics were. In 1456, Vlad finally secured power more firmly. This period marks the beginning of his most famous and infamous rule. Once in control, Vlad focused on three main goals: strengthening central authority, reducing internal corruption, and defending Wallachia from foreign domination. To achieve this, he ruled with extreme discipline. Vlad is best known today by the nickname Gipek, meaning the Impaler. This reputation largely comes from later accounts written by his enemies, particularly Saxon merchants and political rivals. What is clear from historical sources is that Vlad used harsh punishments as a tool of governance. He believed fear was the most effective way to maintain order in a region constantly threatened by chaos. However, it's important to view this in historical context. Medieval Europe was a brutal place by modern standards. Public punishment was common, and rulers often relied on intimidation to enforce law. Interestingly, Romanian folklore often portrays Vlad as a strict but fair ruler, someone who punished corruption and protected common people from exploitation. Different sources tell very different stories, depending on who was writing them. Vlad's most significant conflict was with the Ottoman Empire, ruled at the time by Sultan Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople. When Vlad refused to continue paying tribute to the Ottomans, war became inevitable. In 1462, Mehmed II launched a massive campaign into Wallachia. Vlad responded with guerrilla tactics, avoiding open battles and targeting supply lines. One of the most famous episodes from this conflict describes the Ottoman army encountering a horrifying psychological display meant to intimidate them. Whether exaggerated or not, the story spread rapidly and contributed to Vlad's fearsome reputation across Europe. Despite his resistance, Vlad eventually lost power and was imprisoned for several years. After years of captivity, Vlad returned to power briefly in 1476. However, his final reign lasted only a short time. He was killed later that year, likely during a conflict with Ottoman forces or rival nobles. The exact circumstances remain unclear. What happened to his body is also uncertain, adding another layer of mystery to his story. So how did a medieval ruler become Dracula? In 1897, Irish author Bram Stoker published the novel Dracula. Stoker borrowed the name and some historical references, but created an entirely fictional character. The vampire Dracula shares almost nothing with Vlad III beyond the name and a vague association with Transylvania. Yet the connection stuck. Western Europe had already circulated sensational pamphlets about Vlad centuries earlier, portraying him as a monstrous tyrant. Stoker unknowingly tapped into this existing legend. Over time, history and fiction merged, and Vlad Dracula became immortal, not as a prince, but as a myth. Vlad III was not a vampire. He was a medieval ruler shaped by war, political instability, and constant threat. To some, he was a brutal tyrant. To others, a defender of his homeland. His story reminds us that history is rarely simple, and that legends often grow where facts end. Behind the myth of Dracula stands a real man, ruling in a dangerous time, doing whatever he believed necessary to survive. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more.